What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk. We're talking superheroes, movies, TV, video games, anime, action figures, comic books, and more. I'm Lawrence St. Victor. We got Jack Walker Pearson, Richard Wilson. Christopher St. Victor is out today because he is celebrating his 41st birthday. Happy birthday,
Oh,
Chris.
it's not even
Happy
his 40.
birthday,
It's 41st. That don't mean nothing.
Who hurt you, Rich?
The world. The world hurt me. All right.
Atlas.
That's fair. That's fair. How was your week, guys? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you playing? What's going on? Well, before all that, no one's watching yet. But when you do watch this, because you might watch this afterwards, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and tell your friends and your family. How was y'all week?
Yeah, right. Like, hey, Jody, I know this pops up on your screen, and then you look at us, and then you turn it off because you ain't watching the content. But you could just let it run in the background while you ain't doing anything else and give us the view.
Yes. And for those of you who don't watch this live, there are time codes in the description. If you just want to jump to the review or jump to the toys, you'll be able to do that. Please don't, though. Watch the whole thing.
You could
But
if you want. What are we reviewing today, by the way?
we're talking about Gen freaking V, man. Generation V, brought to you in the world of the boys. Brought to you by the boys. Generation V.
The boys. I'll tell you what I did this week.
Yeah, I'm about to say, are we getting to that? Like, what's happening right now?
We are.
Well, I won't tell you what I did this week, but I'll tell you some of the stuff I watched and played. So I jumped into Twisted Metal this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because why? Oh, because we talked about the what's that hotel one we talked about? The Continental,
No.
and that's Peacock. So I saw Twisted Metal when I was on Peacock, and I said, maybe I'll watch it. And it was surprisingly entertaining.
Is that the Anthony Mackie joint?
The one based off the 90s video game, 2000s video game, Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ahsoka.
I have not jumped back in.
There's only
Yeah.
one problem with it for me.
What's that?
There's only one episode left.
Oh, you fell in hard.
Man, Ahsoka's good. Ahsoka's good. I played this game called The King's Bird, which is just was very chill and kind of zen. It's like I found for like $3, so I picked it up on PlayStation. I recommend it.
Anything to not like play. What's that game you're waiting for like years?
I know. That is the problem. Speaking of which, I played The Crew some more, which is the racing game I was talking to you about. And I really like it. You can drive around. It's open world. Obviously, there are races and mission kind of things you can go on. But what's fun about it is you can just fast click through a variety of different vehicles. So I'm driving my Lamborghini or whatever, and I go off a ramp. I'm like, and I can fast track change into a plane, and now I'm flying. Or say I'm flying and I see a mountain peak and I'm like fast, and now I'm my Lamborghini flying onto the top of the mountain. So it's a lot of fun. It's dirt bikes.
So you're not playing Elden Ring?
I know.
So
right?
Yeah,
true. I would.
Did Spider-Man come out? Y'all didn't pick up Spider-Man? Is that out?
I know.
That's October 20th, I think. You already know. Come on.
Yeah. And I'm still playing that Survivor IO game, but I'm thinking about deleting it off my phone at this point because it's one of those games that's free, but after a while, unless you start paying, you really can't advance to the next thing. It just takes
microtransactions.
So I think I'm going to have to delete that. I started watching the Nicolas Cage Dracula film. I made it about 10 minutes into the movie, and I swapped it for different content. Not because it's not entertaining, but I wasn't in the mood for... It had I guess interesting fight combat, but otherwise I wasn't in the mood for it. So I watched this other movie, which is not content adjacent, called, I think it was like Henry Sugar or something like that. It's the Wes Anderson little 40-minute short film that's on Netflix. Dude, it's so good. It's crazy good. And the content is really weird. It's almost like it's very theatrical in nature, which most Wes Anderson stuff is. But this is like they're really just reciting a book to you.
Hmm.
They're constantly breaking the fourth wall, and the acting is phenomenal. It's really kind of, as an actor, I would think it's just very challenging material. Benedict Cumberbatch is in it. Ben Kingsley's in it. Like, it's got a really great cast.
The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I've watched it twice now, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's very interesting. It's just very interesting, and the acting is. You would appreciate it, Lawrence. You're a trained actor, thespian.
Thespian.
And you're like, wow,
That
the
sounds sexual.
performances.
It is.
I think it would be
sexual.
hard to pull off what they're pulling off in the effortless manner, because it's almost like void of emotion, because they're reading they're like speaking the book aloud, but there's subtlety within the performance where, you know, their emotions are there, their thought process, their opinion of what it is they're talking about is happening in real time. So it actually is quite impressive.
I think I can turn Love Is Blind off for a little bit to check that out.
You know what I do is
I can't. It's gonna
I'll give
change.
something. Yeah, right. I'll give something 10 minutes. I'll give any content 10 minutes. That's the way I treat film and television. Like, I'll sample something for 10 minutes. It's the way I used to read scripts in high school. I give it 10 pages. I go, I'll read 10 pages. If it catches me, I'll go with it. If not, what's the next 10 pages?
Oh, and for those watching this, you might need to give this at least an hour before you decide if you like it. Don't just give us 10 minutes.
Well,
we have way too much nuance for that.
you can still hit subscribe in 10 minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rich, how was your week, man?
My week was all right. Didn't do anything but work and play Starfield. What are we talking about right now?
You were talking so much trash when you first got that
First
game.
of all, let me tell you about my ship, the
Whoa.
Defiant Poe. Okay, listen, this
Did you
thing has
name
over 20,000 cargo space. It is obliterating all the Starborns. They got nothing on me right now. All right, listen. It has its problems. I'm gonna keep saying this. It has its problems. At one point, Andrea, her head just completely disappeared. It was freaking me out. But it's
Whoa.
still good.
It glitches like that?
Because she cloaks, right? So when she ducks down, she cloaks, and we were doing a very intense stealth mission, and I guess her cloak wasn't working right. So like her body came back, but then her head was still invisible, and it was bugging. It was bugging me out a couple times. I almost shot her a few times because I was like, "Whoa, alien!" Anyway,
can you do friendly fire? Can you actually?
You can. I don't think they die.
Oh.
I didn't try though. I mean, I could kill NPCs. No one needs an NPC.
Man.
But anyway,
You know, there was that Ryan Reynolds movie all about the NPC.
Yeah, Rich, have some love.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so if you haven't been watching it, the Swordsmith Village arc of Demon Slayer is out on Netflix. Y'all should be watching it. What else? What else did I do? I had Archer. I did not get into this week's Ahsoka. I did do Darren? No, not Darren. Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, the Walking Dead thing?
The Walking Dead
Daryl.
thing. Daryl. That's his name. What else? That's about it. Love Is Blind. I mean, you know, what are we talking about right now? I started from the beginning. See, when I started watching it, I was watching my girl. She put on episode like 4 or 5. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this girl's a snake. I'm not going to spoil anything for y'all.
I know what. Oh, yeah, don't say nothing.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, girl, she's super snaky. Anyway.
But you didn't see it coming.
You did not
see it coming.
You didn't see it
like
coming.
The most loving, passionate person. You're like, wait a second. Sorry. Talk about not content adjacent, Jack.
I mean, I'm go guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic leftover.
Yeah,
it's like something you
not
only
at
watch.
this point though.
No, now it's here. Now it's stuck.
It's here. It's something you look forward to. Bleach. I'm still not caught up with Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War. But what I have seen on the dubs is, man, y'all really need to be watching this.
I need to get back on that. It's just that good.
I'll jump in.
What else? I think that's it. That's all it is. That's my week.
Is anyone still watching Chainsaw Man?
It's not out.
It's not out yet, man. I mean,
Oh, it's over?
it's done right now. Yeah.
It'd probably be over indefinitely.
Really?
Apparently, it didn't do as well in Japan as it did here.
Really?
Like they were looking for it to be Demon Slayer like level, and apparently all the stuff we liked about it, like the house, like the cinema. What's the word? The director made it felt like it was like a film. The way the shots were, is very cinematographic. Where's my words today? Apparently, that's not the style they like in anime. Like he was kind of breaking rules, and apparently they don't like it as much over there as we do here. And then I think the director walked off. So I don't know. It's one of them things. It's dope, but you might not get a season 2. And if you do, it might be like completely different people and feel like One Punch Man. Like feels so different.
What happened to One Punch Man?
But how was your week, Lawrence? Well, let me tell you.
Hey, Lawrence, how was your week?
You son of a
How
man.
was
Well, first I wanted to give a shout out to
happened
Brent.
to-
Brent, thank you for being here, dude. Thank you for jumping on in. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Brent. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Brent. We do appreciate you. What did I do? Oh man, I'm watching freaking Zom 100, Rich. If you're not watching that, if you're not caught up with that, what are you doing with your life?
I'm not caught up. I'm one episode behind. I'm good.
Dude, I look forward to that thing. That thing is it works. It works.
Yeah.
And this one is just a healthy amount of nudity. It's a healthy amount.
Okay.
What else? And not much else. I've been crazy busy, but I have been working on my office. I was showing Jack before the cast. I was just putting up puck lights around my toys and stuff. Turning this place to a museum, Rich.
Okay.
You know,
So I mean, it looks like a museum with all that wood back there. Pause.
Pause. Pause. And what else did I do, man? I've been watching a lot of content. New York's having a toy fair right now. So I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, seeing some upcoming DC multiverse figures that are dropping in. We got some cool ones, man. I don't know if you guys will care for much, but that Steel will be coming out soon, Jack, eventually.
Well, it was a winter thing.
Was it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a winter release. So
Oh,
come on,
okay.
McFarlane.
Let's go. But yo, Rich,
What's up?
I got a question for you, man.
Okay, let's do this. What's your question?
What happened when Spider-Man picked his nose? Did he just leave? Did you just leave,
I
Rich?
didn't leave. It said my connection messed up, man. Keep going. What happened?
What happened when Spider-Man picked his nose?
What happened when Spider-Man picked his nose?
He pulled out a green goblin.
Oh.
Jack chuckled. That's a win. That's a win.
Yo, you know he's a father,
I don't
Rich.
even know. Yeah. Okay.
The dad jokes. Yo, this is like, I wonder how many jokes there's been. If we count all our jokes, yours combined too. Like we've probably hit over 200 jokes.
Oh, well, podcast plus this, we're over 200 episodes.
Jeez.
I mean, there's some jokes. There were some episodes we did like multiple jokes.
That's true.
Multiple jokes.
Listen, in a couple hundred plus jokes, you've had a few laughs. Good laughs.
The fact that there's still some we haven't heard before is what's boggling my mind. But anyways, let's go down the street, make a right to light, a left at the stop sign. That'll bring us to the Collector's Corner.
It's show and tell time.
Here at the Collector's Corner, we take something off our toy chest. Wait, Brent said something. Lawrence, did you pre-order the new Superpowers figures? I did not, man. I don't care for the ones that they're dropping right now. I think I have all the Superpower figures. You can see them back here. I got the classic Batman. I got what I need. I'm looking forward to the DC multiverse figures, man. I'm looking forward to that Chris O'Donnell Robin from Batman and Robin. That's a cop. Steel's a cop.
Chris O'Donnell.
Yes. And I got some stuff coming. But anyways, take stuff off the toy chest, something out of your comic book stuff, something out of your video game case. And we showcase it to the world. It could be worth millions of dollars. Or in Chris isn't here. But his stuff is just sentimental. What do you guys got?
So today I'm showing off some trading cards.
Oh.
So I got these stacks of 1990 1990 Ninja Turtle movie cards,
Oh wait,
and they
wait.
ain't really worth anything. So I'm gonna open up one up right now.
They
See
look like
what-
they have gum in them. Is that? It looks like they're of that
No, I
time.
mean it's a wax pack, but there's no gum. Okay, I'm opening one up for posterity's sake. You can find these online for like $2 a pack or something like that. So in the pack we've got Shredder.
Oh, that's a terrible costume.
Oh, what is this? Okay, it's just some dudes looking through a window. Is this April? We got an April card.
And they recast her in Secret of the Use.
Just some foot soldiers getting beat up.
Okay.
Is another April card? Come on, guys.
Yo, I used to hate that when you get doubles in the same pack.
Yeah. Well,
Were those doubles? They look different.
Are they different?
Like 2 different shots of it. What do they just got like random scenes
wait.
in the movie?
It is 2 different shots.
Of the same? Is it the same scene? Is her clothes at least different?
No. Wait, no. Yeah.
Do you need both of those cards in your collection, though?
Absolutely. And you remember when they tied?
Yeah. Yo, that first movie was way darker than
look
the
at
sequels. That's Donatello.
These
or
are good
Leonardo?
looking suits, man. These are good looking outfits.
It changed.
Outfit.
Wasn't that Jim Henson's like crew?
Yeah, and I'm sure if Jody's still watching this, he's going to tell me all about how his friends were the original Ninja Turtle actors. Jody was one of the suit guys performers back in the day.
Man.
You might recognize him from Gorillas in the Mist or George of the Jungle.
We're not going to recognize him,
right? I'm like, will we?
We're not going to recognize him at all.
Because he was in a suit, you won't. And so those are the Ninja Turtle cards, and the other cards I was going to show you were these Jurassic Park cards.
You got Jurassic Park cards?
Well, I think I inherited them, but yes.
Yeah.
And these are also not worth much. I think you can find them online if you're looking for them for about $14 a box. That tells you anything.
Yo, those toys go hard, man. They're always in aisles. Always
Jurassic Parks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Ninja Turtles are making a renaissance, too.
There's always a Ninja Turtle something. There's
but I mean,
so many different lines.
retro Ninja Turtles are making a renaissance.
Yeah. A lot of retro lines. You got the Superpowers. You got Marvel's doing their thing. Ninja Turtles. There's another retro line. He-Man.
He-Man, the X-Men.
X-Men
figures are looking really retro, and Star Wars kind of always been retro.
Yeah. Is that it?
You want me to open another pack?
Yeah. I have.
Wait. I
what?
always have to take a moment to just look at this background.
I know.
I mean, you know, I'm just looking at what I can
From
show
humble
today.
beginning.
So I'm gonna pull these bad boys out.
It is a humble flex you're doing right now.
You know,
like
humble flex.
your whole. You don't even have to do a collector's corner. We just look at your background.
Are you wearing a Bob Ross shirt?
Hey, listen. Sometimes you need to put a little flower somewhere or a tree. You know.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bob Ross, you know?
Painting that wood.
Hey yo.
Yo.
So anyway,
you didn't even dignify that with a pause.
I didn't because it's somewhere buried within the soundboard, and I was like, I ain't about to look for that. Anyway, so I was out here. I had to catch myself. I was about to go deep into a whole another set of figures.
Wait, I'm about to go deep into a hole. You wild.
That pause, yeah. You like that, right? You like that pause on that? Anyway. Okay, so yeah, I was about to go deep into a whole new set of figures. They were these mystery figures, but they were Monster Hunters. For those who don't know, it's a Capcom game, Monster Hunter.
Well, those are figures. Like, wait,
these are like little mini figures. So kind of like my Destiny. Oh, can I pull one up? Oh, give me a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, so boom. Here goes one. I got a gang of them, and they all interconnect through the base.
Oh yeah.
Right. And the thing is with these, they're like it's a mystery pack, so you never know what you're going to get when you open it. I already got like 3 or like 2 of these blue guys right here. It's pretty annoying. But yeah, so I got 2 of them. Don't know who's in them. I got like 6 of them right now. I got a Rathalos right here.
Rich, you collect a lot of different things.
It's a mental problem, man.
Mini statues, pops, McFarlane figures,
like-
6-inch figures. Who are those little guys behind you to your left?
With little guys.
On top
the
of
little
that-
guys? Don't worry about those little guys.
Forget about those little guys.
What? This guy? These?
Yeah, what are those?
Oh, these are my Gundams.
Yo, you collect a lot of different.
These are my-
Oh, that's the
I
one you had to
appreciate
return,
that.
right?
No. This is the one. Did I return this one?
One of them came with it was missing a part,
Oh no, I kept it. It's somewhere.
but that was one of the little guys, right?
Yeah, it's one of the little guys. Yeah, these little guys.
Yeah, you don't talk about those little guys. Jack Sage said so cool. Said wow, so cool at your Ninja Turtles cards, man.
Thanks, Sage.
Yeah.
Okay, you ain't got a Kato as Edo. Come on, that's a pity cool.
It's a pity cool.
Pity cool.
I guess
They're
I'm up.
cool.
What you
So,
got?
well, this dude who's been helping us with my son a lot, he's been kind of part of the family. Big shout out to Ivan. He blessed me with this action figure, man, from the Blackest Night comic line.
Oh, snap.
It's the Flash. If you guys don't know this comic line, pretty much like there's this black Green Lantern ring or whatever, and it raises everyone from the dead, but it also like turns everyone who once was dead into like this kind of Black Lantern zombie too. So there's a Superman figure like this because anyone who has ever died becomes one, even if you're alive now. It's a really cool storyline. And he got me this figure, which is dope. I got this whole Flash shelf right here. It's a Flash shelf when you can pull out freaking the Tasmanian Devil McDonald's. Come on.
Wow.
Come see my toy collection. I dare. No, don't. It ain't that crazy. But, yo, this is a dope figure. I told them, bro, I'm going to have to open this. Because, they don't make DC Direct no more. This is pre-McFarlane.
Oh,
I said,
yeah,
dude, I'm going to have to open this. He said, absolutely. So that is what I got.
Nice.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Hey, what's up?
That's the wrong one. I don't
How
like
you
this.
doing? How you
Wait, do we
doing?
like this? Do y'all like this?
this?
I don't like
Whoa.
that.
Do we like this?
Where's the one?
I am the one.
Wait, I can't.
There can be only one.
Where is it?
I'll transition each time you do it.
Wait, how do we? Wait, Rich, help me out here. Jack, you don't have
What?
access. Where
I don't
is
want
it?
What is that? Which one are you looking for?
I'm looking for the.
It's called technical
We're
difficulty.
having technical difficulties. Brent, did you say you ordered a Tupac figure?
Wait, what?
Tupac?
There's a Tupac figure? I don't like this. I'm going through all of them.
I am. You are. Did you erase it? You deleted it.
We can't delete them. I thought they're just.
This
Oh,
is great.
Hey, you
I love
found it.
Uh,
Wow.
I'm relieved. Man, I think it's time for some news.
It's time for the news.
Not much news, but a big piece of news.
Yes, Rich.
My bad, Rich. I jumped the gun. Big piece of news. The writer's strike is over.
Not the actor strike.
The actor's strike is still going. There'll be talks this week. I imagine if the studios are bringing the writers back to work, I foresee they already have a plan to negotiate with the actors. What's the point, really? So it's good, man. Apparently the WGA, the members are really happy with what they were, agreed to. I haven't read through everything, but if they're happy, I'm happy. So we're already getting the ball on the road. Big piece of news is looks like the MCU has already started taking pitches from writers for the new X-Men movie that they want to get into development. I think, let's say in the winter they want to get it into development.
It's gonna get into development when we get that McFarlane Steel toy.
Hey man, Christmas comes late or early. I'm not exactly sure.
It said
But,
as early as 2024. As soon as early 2024. Excuse me.
So probably around January, February, they'll take pitches and decide who they want to,
Soon as.
Um,
Hey, should we submit, Lawrence?
who we sending it to?
That's the question.
That's the question.
20th Century
Man,
Fox. Disney,
I got an X-Men idea.
What you got? No,
I'm not gonna. No. I'll tell you off air. You don't give it away.
Okay. Yeah,
But I will say that for X-Men fans out there, we all know it's not actually called Wolverine and the X-Men. The X-Men are actually really cool, and they're a dope team, and it's not just like Wolverine and the rest of them. So
there are other ones.
see what that Fox cartoon did, Jack?
There are other ones there.
See that Fox freaking cartoon? It looks like we're bringing more characters into Mortal Kombat. It looks like they're going to jump into the horror. Ed Boon has teased we're going to get icons like Scream's Ghostface. We're going to get Michael Myers, Billy the Puppet from Saw, and potentially freaking Chucky in that bad boy.
This is a good time for my bit of news.
Yes.
So I got a bit of news too, and it revolves the Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you picked up the Mortal Kombat game, and if you're like me and you're like, yo, man, I want to play Homelander and Omni-Man, then you picked up that bundle. And if you're like me, you're looking for the characters going, how did I spend money for these exclusive characters and I just can't find them anywhere? And the answer for it is because they're not released yet. Yes, that's right. They took your money and there are no characters to be played. And on top of that, they're not going to release the pack of the 6 or 7 characters. They're going to release them one at a time. So when is the first one being released? I don't know, weeks from now, months from now. They haven't really said anything. And not to be morbid, but I could die tonight. I'm not planning on dying tonight. I don't want to die tonight, but I could die tonight, which means I spent all that damn money on characters I will never get the chance to enjoy. So F you, Mortal Kombat 1. Why are you taking my money and not giving me what I paid for? I got qualms with that, and that bit of news is accurate.
You could tell Jack don't play video games that often because this is a common thing. All right, they be doing this all the time. It's called you pre-order for future content.
But
so when it comes out, I probably that fine print you didn't.
You got to read that fine print.
That fine print, baby.
That's why
I kept going. Where is it? Where is
Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse Part 1. You got to read that.
You got to read that fine print. They duped us all. All right.
And yo, big shout out to Geek Fusion TV who is here. He says Wolverine may be the most overrated Marvel character ever. Overrated, overhyped. It's a tough call, man. Wolverine is dope, but he is not.
I want to see like an accurate depiction of the guy.
I don't.
I want to see Daniel Radcliffe is actually kind of growing on me. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe would be dope.
He'd be squatty. Dope. I want someone squatty and aggressive.
Squatty and aggressive.
I want like an X-Men movie just told from another angle, man. And that's going to be hard because we already got the prequels. We saw a version of Charles and Eric's relationship.
Yeah.
We already saw the Dark Phoenix story twice. We got a whole lot of Wolverine.
Kinda. We've almost seen it once.
We've almost seen it once. But I would like a traditional freaking. I don't know. I got some ideas. So Toxic Avenger dropped their sneak peek, and it is you don't really see much of anything. It's Peter Dinklage is the Toxic Avenger, but and Sage said, "Jack, you're not dying tonight."
Good. He's not dying tonight. Jack, you're not dying tonight. Why would you say that?
Not tonight.
You're just worrying people today.
Geek Fusion, I agree with you. He is a great character. Marvel and the X-Men gave him too much press, and they leaned on him for far too long, especially in the movies, man. Wolverine, it's hard to say because Hugh Jackman is dope, but when you think about it, we didn't like a lot of the Wolverine movies, right?
No. But the idea of it was nice.
And he's great in it regardless. So Peter Dinklage, Toxic Avenger, they dropped a sneak peek and it's looking very like 80s. It looks like it's a sequel to the original. And
is it a musical?
It's not a musical.
Thank goodness. That.
IGN wrote a review about it and they basically said you can't make a bad movie that's so bad it's good on purpose.
No.
And I feel like if they went
a bad movie,
when a bad movie is so bad it's good.
That is true. You can't do it on purpose.
You actually tried to make a good movie and it turned out really bad, but it's so bad it's good. You can't do that intentionally.
Can we have an example?
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
So
Let's be for
then
real.
you just call it cult classic after a while.
It becomes one, but sometimes.
Oh, you know what's a cult classic? 13 Ghosts. Shut up, Lawrence.
Ooh, you know my
Well-
mom likes that.
Yeah.
I'll say a cult classic doesn't necessarily have to be a bad movie. It just for whatever reason didn't hit at the time. But then there are movies that are legitimately like
With
bad.
Princess Bride,
No,
Princess Bride
no? It's not bad.
massively underperformed in the box office.
Oh yeah, it didn't hit, but it's good. A bad movie that's so bad it's good would be like freaking
The Room.
The Room. The Room. Yes, that movie is the perfect. Geek
13
Fusion TV.
Ghosts.
Don't lie to Rich. 13 Ghosts is not a fantastic movie. You know what? That's don't lie. Don't
The man
lie.
just listen. This is why he hates it, because I was super drunk when I was talking about this
You
movie.
talked about that.
All right, and I might have talked a little bit too much when we were watching it.
And we were in our friend's basement. And I was down there with a girl. And I'm like, Rich, believe me, the last thing I want to talk about for the next 2 hours is while watching this
And
movie.
I said, no, watch this movie, The Juggernaut.
The Juggernaut. That's the Juggernaut. Oh my goodness. Yo. So Martin Scorsese is he's pissed off, man. He's really pissed off at these comic book movies. He has been for a while because
he's feeling left out.
Well, because it's changed the idea of what can be in the theaters. It's changed the palette of what people will spend money on.
Not true. Look at Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's an exception. Barbie is still a movie based on a toy. It still might as well be a comic book movie.
As Chris would say, Barbie is the movie about men being neglected in society. Okay,
You always got to put in that. Right. What's funny is Martin Scorsese says, and I quote, he's fighting back against comic movies, and he wants to support directors like the Dark Knight's Christopher Nolan.
No, he didn't say
yes,
that.
He did. He probably didn't say the Dark Knights, but like Christopher Nolan is part of his problem. Like that.
Wait, did he say he wants to support directors like Christopher Nolan?
Yes, because he's looking at Oppenheimer. He's looking at those things.
Incredible.
But he's forgetting that Nolan produced Man of Steel. Nolan made the Dark Knight trilogy. Nolan's part of your problem, Scorsese. Nolan and the Iron Man movie is what changed the whole palette of Hollywood.
Look at what Nolan did with the Batman movies. I know they're Chris's least favorite movies, but they're pretty phenomenal. And if you go back and watch the first couple of them, they're just really good films on top of it.
Yeah.
And so maybe Scorsese's problem is he's standing in a weird position, being angry about a thing instead of getting in the muck and raising the content up. And instead of
you can't raise the content up if the studios won't give you the budget you're asking for, because they'd rather give it to the toy movie. So you coming out with movies on Netflix.
No, I'm saying Scorsese should go direct one of these films he hates and elevate the medium.
If Scorsese directed a superhero movie, what would you give him to direct?
How about The Question?
The Question.
Not bad. It's gonna be boring. We're gonna be waiting for something to happen.
Scorsese film. It's gonna be good acting.
When you read it, kill or be killed. He'll kill that joint.
Okay, see, there you go. How about 100 bullets then? Right?
100 bullets, perfect.
So Scorsese, man, instead of bitching about it, go get involved.
I'm not gonna say that because I want to work for you someday. Jack said it.
I'm a huge Scorsese fan. What do you want to tell you? I'm a huge Scorsese fan.
Geek Fusion TV. I don't think Scorsese is jealous. I think you're just watching a guy who.
I didn't say jealous.
No, I'm saying no. I'm responding to Geek Fusion TV. Oh. I think you're looking at a guy who helped birth the term cinema, a cinephile. Yeah. Like that comes from him, and to watch the whole landscape change completely. It's not like we have. I don't think he cares that there's superhero movies. I think he cares that that's all they want to make is IP driven.
Well, it's also it's the quality of the content. You know, it's like my problem with a lot of these superhero movies now is they're pumped out at such an alarming rate. They're starting to feel like fast food.
They feel like fast food, but I think also like Scorsese's whole thing is original content or a book that you've never even read before. It's kind of like as good as superhero movies could be, you have a fan base with Batman regardless. It's low hanging fruit. And if
Yeah.
all the studios only do low hanging fruit, then you'll never get an
But-
Inception. You'll
But
never get
that's a lie. I mean,
Goodfellas.
look at A Star Is Born. There's like 3 versions of that movie. The industry has always
Right.
leaned on things that have previous IP.
Right, but not IP that guarantees you a fanatic fan base. That's where you
that
start getting
fanatic
into
fan base
toys
isn't
and
guaranteed in these comic book movies either. Look at all these films underperforming.
Batman and Spider-Man have never really underperformed.
The Batman and
Listen.
Spider-Man, that may be true.
All I can say is Scorsese.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, son.
Yo,
I'm
it's
just
the
saying.
game, Rich. It's the game. And speaking of the
Just
game,
get on it.
James Gunn has confirmed the 3 actors that will return for the DCU, not to be confused with the DCEU. DCEU is Zack Snyder's universe, the DC extended universe. James Gunn is just the DCU. So basically, he's saying John Cena, Peacemaker,
Let's go.
Zolo, Blue Beetle, and Viola Davis,
Okay.
Amanda Waller are the 3 characters that are guaranteed to come back in the new universe. He's saying that his universe is, he said this before, but his universe is going to start with Creature Commandos. It's an animated film, and it's really going to start with Superman Legacy after that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does that mean, so basically what he's saying is we have the Peacemaker universe and what's been established there?
No.
He's saying the actors? He's saying what's
He's saying the actors and the characters. So he said that anything you'll see in Peacemaker season 2 is going to be some sort of fresh start. He's like, that universe is over. He's just keeping the actors playing those characters. So he said Aquaman is going to be, that's the last piece of that Zack Snyder universe. Everything else from that is completely different. Even if you see the same actor playing the role, it's completely different. So he says, I know it's very confusing. It sounds confusing. There's a lot of misinformation, and he's also hasn't been able to work with his writers for the last 148 days either. Geek Fusion, I think we like Blue Beetle. I didn't see it yet because my life has been crazy, but we reviewed it, and I think you guys found it charming. You liked it. It was kind of formulaic, but it was good.
It's exactly what you expect.
It's, I mean, every MCU part 1, it's kind of it follows so Peacemaker, but it's not gonna, whatever happened in season 1 doesn't matter.
Peacemaker is another character that was on that pre-order pack for
the super. Sorry,
that I won't be playing tonight.
And I like the Flash. Geek Fusion TV, we need to get you on here. I like the Flash. I hate everything that went around it, but I didn't. The Flash was dope. Stop hating. We like the Flash over here.
Did you watch our review? I don't think that was me. It certainly wasn't consistent.
We like the Flash.
Yeah, we like we gave it a 6, I think.
Rich, you didn't like the Flash?
The Flash is all right.
We didn't hate the Flash.
That's another review. Let's keep the news pushing.
Yeah, you can go back into our archives. But no, that's the last bit of news. James Gunn has confirmed that these actors will return. So there's no word on Jason Momoa. There's no word on Gal Gadot. There's no word on them. And honestly, I'm kind of happy it's these 3 because you kind of need to you have to wipe the slate clean, man. I can't see Gal's Wonder Woman show up as a different Wonder Woman, but standing next to a completely different actor playing Superman.
Yeah,
and he basically said, for those people that are saying, well, what's the point of going to see Aquaman if you tell me the universe is over? He's like, go see it because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But I will say, with the exception, I think I said this last week, with the exception of the big 3, Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman, every other movie, we need a shared universe. Like you've made it so that's why we go see these things. And I wonder how Aquaman's going to do, knowing that it's not going to matter in the big sense of it. I don't know. That Jason Momoa is so hot right now, so it might still work. Yo, but that's the news.
That was the news.
Oh, we don't get out.
Is he gonna do that for the next intro though?
I love it. Yo, stop laughing, Jack. Rich, get your game face on. It's time for debate.
Yeah.
You do have something for this. No.
Yeah, let's get ready to rumble then. Yeah.
All right. So
All
we're
right.
talking about Gen V today. So we're going to come up with 5 superpowers. You know, they could be known powers. It doesn't have to be that deep. But you also have to come up with 5 terrible side effects of that power. And they must feel connected. It can't be like I can fly and what's the side effect? I can't breathe or whatever. It has to be connected. It has to make sense. The ones who have the worst side effects and the best powers wins.
Yo. I like this debate.
Yeah, I want to see Rich think of this on the fly.
All
Think
right, I'll go-
about this on the fly, Rich.
I'll go first. Do you want to do one power cycles, or you want to do all 5 in a
Let's
row?
do one cycles,
All
like rounds.
All right, so I'll start with flight. If I had to choose a superpower, I'm choosing flight first time, probably every time. Unfortunately, flight requires propulsion, and the only propulsion the body gives you is gas. So in order to fly, that means you got to fart. And sometimes that means crap in your pants because you can't always trust a fart.
What a reach! He reached.
That's
Jack,
what
that's
are you
not a
talking
side
about?
effect of
Reach.
flight. That's a side effect of gas.
But gas is the
Short in your
propulsion
pants
that
all the
shoots your
time?
body up.
No,
so
but
you fly from farting.
you added a whole nother All right, that's his. Let him have it.
Look, now you don't want to fly.
No, I'm gonna give my superpower, and it's flight. And the side effect of flight is you can defy gravity, but you can't control it. So if you don't pay attention, you will just float away indefinitely. So you can never go to sleep. You always have to be chained to something, because as soon as your mind isn't focused on staying on the ground, you'll drift away forever.
That's pretty good.
It's better than crapping your pants.
I was gonna say I win that one though. I mean, mine's disgusting.
Yo, Geek Fusion,
Okay.
hold on, Geek Fusion TV. Yo, you just blew my freaking mind, dude. My secret identity handled this issue 30 years ago. He's aerosol cancer. I feel like I'm the only one that watched that show. I know everything about that show. Jerry Connell, he just blew my mind. We need to get him on this thing. He blew my mind. Remember that show, My Secret Identity?
Yeah.
He can just float, so he used air like the deodorant cans that destroys the ozone layer, and he uses it to propel
My
himself.
secret identity. What?
Check it out
are
on
you talking
YouTube. It's
about?
like Smallville in the 80s. It's like before it even. You just blew my mind. I love that freaking show, dude. You just blew my mind. No one knew about it. Man. Rich, what's your power?
My power is super learning.
Oh,
You learn things
okay. And
very quickly.
what's the side?
The side effect about it is that because you got folds in your brains, right? Every time you learn something, part of your brain, removes that part of the fold, so you lose memory. You learn things very quickly.
This is
right?
actually.
And you get
that's really good.
You learn things very quickly, but the side effect of it is you forget things. So say you're learning how to kung fu, right? You say I know kung fu. Now you forgot about your 10th birthday.
This is excellent. I can write a whole movie about this.
Boy,
that's excellent.
Should I be a writer?
No.
Anyway,
just drop the ideas. we'll write the 100 pages. That's excellent.
That is a good one, Rich.
I think both of these are better than crapping your pants.
No, they're not. No. Mine is way worse. Shit.
No, yours is not connected to anything.
It's flight.
You just crapping your pants the whole time.
Who farts that much to fly?
Yeah, exactly. You got to change your whole eating habit just to get up into the air.
Geek Fusion TV jumped in this. He says super strength, but you're not any tougher. So when you hit someone hard enough, you'll break all your bones. Because you're super strong, but you're not invincible. So you can lift a car over your head, but your back might go out. Jack,
I don't know.
Everyone's playing this game better than you.
You wouldn't necessarily have super strength. Actually, super strength is my next one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So I said super strength, except for... So you're super strong, and in order to do that, there's one of two side effects. Either all your muscles are always tight and compact, meaning that if you're a man and you got super strength, you've got an incredibly teeny weeny that you need like a super magnifying glass to even discover, or
Why?
it means all
Why?
your
Wait. Why would you need? Why?
because it's still a muscle, or
Because it can.
right. So,
Wait, what?
Muscles don't contract.
Yeah, but they would for the super strength. Or your muscles are completely inflamed and engorged, which would also have a weird side effect if you're a guy walking around.
You wrote this down. Like you wrote this down and you thought
You
about it.
did. You're proud of this. You was like, yeah, no, this is going
Like,
to hit.
this
This is
is-
going to hit
I'm
tonight.
like, this is a terrible side effect.
No, but your side effects are like such reaches. It's like if you have super strength and if your muscles had to contract, and it's just not like it's not a straight line. Like Rich said, when you learn something, you lose a fold in your brain. So every time you learn something, you forget something. Like that's a straight line of like power and side effect. Super strength. I'm super strong, but I'm not durable. So if I punch something hard enough, I can break my bones. Straight line. You'd be like, so you're super strength, right? But your muscle. Yeah, that's why you have to tell us so much information.
I think I win this one too. All right, what do you got? What's your second one?
I say super strength. Super strength, but you have no control of it. So the world is literally like paper. And even if you bump into someone, you tear them in half.
That's a tough one.
You're just destroying everything. You talk about ripping doorknobs off. I'm talking about you. And imagine you discover this the first time you're with a lady. Tragic.
Oh, God.
Tragic. There's this short film played by Michael Hearn where he plays a Superman type figure, and this girl's like on top of him, and he's like, "I gotta get you off of me." And she's on top of him, and then he like finishes, and it shoots through her head, and there's blood splattered on the ceiling.
What?
So then he burns the whole house down, destroying evidence. I'm like, what did I just watch? But that's kind of the power I'm talking about. That's the side effect of super strength, Jack. Super sperm bullets.
Geek Fusion got another good one. I was thinking about that one.
Laser vision, but the first time you use it, it blinded you. So now you're blind and can't see what you...
And now the next time you just like,
Everyone's... Geek Fusion's beating you in your own game.
Go ahead.
He's playing the
What's
game.
your next one? What's your next one?
My next one is control of insects.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm going off of Naruto. There was a character in Naruto who controlled insects, but the downside of that is you got insects all over you all the time. They're crawling through your hair, crawling through your
But if you
clothes.
can control them. Can you tell them to go away?
Nah, because they always on you. They always on.
But
you.
you can control them.
But no, but they always on you.
But
they always
you
on.
can't.
Right?
Can you?
You the hive. They always
But
on.
can you control them?
No, but you can control them. But they always on you. You got to have that connection to them.
You can control them if you're touching them.
But they always on
You
you.
can control them if you're making contact.
They need the pheromones off of you, so they're always on you. All right.
Very creative.
Then they go and they come back, like leaving and come back to the hive. They always
Very creative, Rich.
All
Very
right.
creative. That's 3. That's 2. Are we only on 2?
We only on 2.
Did you do your second one, Lawrence?
Yeah, super strength. The world is like paper.
Yeah,
Super sperm bullets.
Paper. Paper planet.
You take a dump and you literally create a sinkhole the size of an island because everything is super strong. Yo.
Okay. Teleportation is my next one.
Oh, that was gonna be mine.
You can still
Yeah,
go.
you can
This is
still
not
go.
gonna top mine,
Okay,
though.
let's see.
So in order to teleport,
Wait, Jackson don't say you gotta teleport, but when you teleport, you sneeze. So when you sneeze, snot comes out your nose. And that snot's radioactive.
all of my side effects have been connected to the power.
Yeah.
Okay.
So teleportation would cause the equilibrium in your body to go out of whack. So like you would get massive vertigo, dizziness, discomfort, and vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
So you would need to take a Tylenol every time you teleport? Like what?
Have you ever had vertigo?
No.
It's
no.
terrible. It is.
So you need a chair? You need to take a
Wait,
nap for a little
that's
bit?
it?
What's happening?
Clearly, you guys.
So you teleport, you take a quick nap, and then you're good to go.
That's not what vertigo is. Vertigo is when the inner ear, the crystals in your inner ear, get dislodged in a weird spot, and so they send mixed signals to your body, telling you that your body's actually orientated in a position it's not.
Wait,
It's almost like imagine yourself being on a giant turntable.
Wait, that's your side effect? People got vertigo without powers.
Exactly.
So I'll take the powers. That's nothing. People get vertigo without teleporting all the time.
Right. If you
Wait. Does the vertigo go away after a certain amount of time? You always have vertigo.
every time you teleport, you'd have it again.
But does it go away?
Geek Fusion thought you were going to say whenever you teleport, you shit yourself.
Yo! This man came to play the
Yo,
game.
Geek Fusion came to play the game. Oh,
That's
man.
when you're flying. He's clearly confused.
He's not paying attention.
Clearly confused.
Okay.
Yeah, so mine would be teleporting as well. And the whole problem with teleporting is, the Earth is moving. So the Earth is never in the same spot.
Ooh.
It's not moving.
So you kind of have
fast.
you kind of have to
moving that
triangulate
fast.
where the Earth is going to be. Otherwise, you could end up in the wall, or you could just end up in like another place.
Is the Earth moving faster than it normally?
Jack, at least I don't have vertigo.
That's what I'm saying. Vertigo is a terrible side effect.
But
And
people-
A little bit of math, and I can teleport to Japan whenever I want.
But
okay?
anybody can get vertigo.
Anybody can
That's
get
like
vertigo.
saying every time I fly, I get a headache. It's like
But anybody
There's
can
people
have
without
their-
powers that have vertigo. Okay.
What is mine? My third one is invincibility. You are impervious to everything, but the only side effect is you actually can't feel touch. You can't feel anything.
Oh.
That's pretty bad, actually.
Bullets bounce off of you, you don't feel it. But you also don't feel the warm touch on a cold night.
Wow.
Hey.
Okay.
That's terrible. Now that might be the worst side effect.
So I think I win this one again too.
Did you know?
I mean, I've pretty much flawlessly won every round.
Oh, telepathic, but you can only get into people's mind to talk to them when they're asleep. That's not so bad, Geek Fusion. I take that power.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I'll take that power. Like Freddy Krueger powers. Number 4. Is this number 4? Are we finally at number 4?
Yeah. All right. So I had telepathy for number 4, mind control. Only the problem with mind control is it would cause you to be cognitively confused. You'd have memory loss and long-term onset of dementia.
Why?
Because you're messing with your brain every time you're interacting with someone else's brain.
That'd be bad.
That'd be bad.
That'd be bad.
All right.
That'd be
All right.
bad. Rich.
Speaking to the dead. Okay, you can speak to the dead, so like a medium.
Uh-huh.
Umbrella Academy.
But yeah. I think I got this from somewhere. Anyway, but you don't just speak for the dead; they enter your body and take control of you. That was somewhere. Where did I get that from?
Umbrella Academy.
That was an Umbrella Academy. It was another one. That comedy one with that girl that didn't have powers.
You know what would be
Remember
worse?
the English
Umbrella Academy. Oh,
It wasn't Umbrella
no,
Academy.
I know
Yeah,
what you're talking
know
about.
what I'm talking It was on Hulu.
there's a-
Hulu?
No,
Who doesn't
yeah.
watch
Don't watch it.
Hulu?
Chris don't.
Chris isn't watching Hulu.
He's uncultured heathen. All right. But yeah, they take over your body. So bad side effects.
Geek Fusion say Cloverfield Paradox is a bad movie. It's the only movie that did address teleportation and considered how the Earth moves.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
if Nightcrawler's teleporting,
Yeah.
he's teleporting small distances he can see, is the way his power works. The Earth's not spinning that quickly in relation.
But
to
if Rich
moving.
wants to teleport to Japan from here, and you got to think when you teleport, you're like you're if you go on the route of you go into particles and you kind of reconfigure like a millimeter off could just jack you up. We're talking about particles. A piece of dust of your atom gets left behind, and
Yeah, what if it's raining where you go?
or what if it's a tornado?
You're teleporting to
Yeah.
a field that you used to teleport to, and all of a sudden they put an apartment building there. Now you're stuck in an apartment building, like in the wall.
Yeah. My power is like Aquaman, except you actually can't breathe outside of the water. You can't actually come out. Like once you got
Oh,
your
you have to
powers,
be in there.
you have to be in
And
water.
then your fingers would get all pruny because
For
you've
the
been in
rest-
the water for too long.
of your life, you have to be in the water.
So that's like the rest, just his race, pretty much.
Yeah, but he's
Right.
not a
Actually,
fish.
that's a good point, Rich.
No, they can come out of water. Mira came out of the water.
Only like 3 of them.
They can't. Yeah,
They
like
wear
not all of them
helmets.
can.
Yeah, but think about it.
Yeah.
You grew up on land, though. You grew up on. You've been on land since you was 30
Wait,
years
so how-
old, and then your powers developed, and all of a sudden you have to be
First
stuck
of
down
all,
there.
Why your powers developing at 30?
Why are you judging him?
How
What do
would
we
you
do?
know? You'd just be like
Judging
choking
him.
to death. You wouldn't know.
All right,
any
fine.
better.
I lost this round, but I won most of them.
What's all right, let's see. Okay, super hearing.
Last one. Yeah,
You get terrible migraines.
I get terrible migraines anyway,
I know,
so
but
I'll take the super hearing.
you might not.
You be saying stuff that just people get in life. You're super strong, but you have like arthritis in your knees. I'm gonna get that anyway. So I'll take the super strength. Mild side effects. Go ahead, Rich.
Let's see.
No, but for the record, migraines can be pretty intense.
But people get them without powers.
That's right, but now you would get them every time you use your power.
I know, but like,
And I'm not talking about a headache. I'm talking about debilitating migraine, which is not easy to deal with. I know a guy who gets such intense migraines, he literally has to go on an oxygen tank.
but he don't got no powers. So that can happen to you
He's a
anyway.
regular person.
Now, Geek
Like,
Fusion
yeah.
says phasing through objects, but your hair, nails, and anything else that is no longer living on your body doesn't phase with you. So whenever you phase, you end up bald, naked, and hairless. I mean, bald, naked, and without nails. Now that is a side effect. Jack, he be talking about regular ailments that people go through.
So yeah, man.
Whenever I use X-ray vision, I become nearsighted. Have to wear glasses. I gotta wear glasses anyway.
You can eat everything that you want, but you get diarrhea. That's just,
Jack. How you go from crapping yourself to fly into like regular problems people have in life?
All right, go on. What's your next one?
Sage, come back. He needs some help. He needs some encouragement.
Rich, what you got?
Oh man. Okay. All right. So you have luck manipulation. You can manipulate luck, but you can't control your luck, and you really can't control it. When people come in contact with you, they just become lucky, so that they win the lottery or whatever the case may be. But you have the worst luck.
Every time someone gets good luck, you just get worse luck.
Thank you for adding. I see. That's what I like more. You just add something.
Yo, Rich
to
killed
the
it.
already good idea.
Rich killed it. Like, I'm gonna say one, but it ain't gonna beat Rich's because Rich is like, he said ideas that you can actually write movies on right now.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. My last one is
good job, Rich.
Good job, Rich. And my last one is telepathy.
Okay.
I
Sound
can't
it out.
say it.
Let's use our syllables.
How do you even spell it?
Telepathy. Telepathy.
What Jack said. That's what it is. And the side effect is you never stop hearing their voices.
Oh.
You can read minds all the time. The TV's always on.
Isn't there a movie about that with like Mel Gibson or something?
Is there?
There's a few movies like that where people just get the ability to read people's minds.
Yeah, and they're like,
oh yeah, what woman? You talking about what women want? What women want?
Yeah, that was one of them.
But I mean, this is more like Professor X scale. Like you can hear like everyone in the city at the same time. And the best you can do is work really hard to quiet it, but it's always on. It's always on.
Okay.
And with the last one, Geek Fusion says spider powers, but you actually spin and shoot webs out of your ass. He's come to play, Jack.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I feel like he beat you. He beat you, Jack.
My first one was pretty good,
Your
but
first
we'll give him an honorable mention for sure.
I will say, and I have no problem saying this, Richie won this debate because your ideas
Hey.
actually were like, I want to watch that.
He had two very good ones. That's true.
They're really good ones.
I'll tell you
There
what,
it
I
is.
like one of my favorite ones was heat vision that makes you blind though after your first use.
Geek Fusion came to play, so now he's blind. You can't figure out who you're shooting. Yo, that's something that would show up on Gen V or The Boys. Like,
Yeah.
I got powers,
Yeah.
Mom. Just burned his eyes out. That's terrible. Okay, now it's time to get to the reason why we're here.
It's time for the main event.
Yo, we're talking We're talking Generation V. Gen V. In the world of The Boys brings you Gen V. Let me read you this synopsis. We'll give you our spoiler-free review, and then we'll deep dive this mother sucker. All right. From the world of The Boys comes Gen V, which explores the first generation of superheroes to know that their powers are from Compound V. These heroes put their physical and moral boundaries to the test, competing for school's top rankings. It's like a dark version of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of is a dark My Hero Academia. Or X-Men. Professor X's school. Yeah. Anyways, what did you guys think?
I mean, this is what I expected from The Boys, from the universe of The Boys. Let me say it like
Spoiler alert, huge penis. On
that.
Actually, average size.
Average size.
Depends
penis, yes.
on how what size you are. When you're, we'll get there. Spoiler free.
Okay. It was entertaining.
Oh,
It was entertaining.
you did a squish face.
Yeah, it was entertaining. It was,
Okay.
There was some things I was like,
Okay. Jack?
It's exactly what you expect. It is the content. Here's my some of it feels really nice, and some of it feels like low hanging fruit. Watching it for me, and so it's definitely the world of The Boys. Obviously, none of the characters of The Boys, for the most part. Maybe some of the auxiliary characters are in there, but it was entertaining. It was definitely entertaining.
I enjoyed it. I will say, and this isn't a spoiler. It lets you know the content. I'm not spoiling story. The part about this show that is like The Boys is the part of the show that I like the least, to tell you the truth. Because,
what was that?
well, as you can see in the trailer, you're following these youngsters.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, not really. They're not over the top like the characters in The Boys. It's actually pretty dramatic. The stuff on the side, the hijinks makes it feel like you're watching The Boys, but I actually like it when this show works better to me when it's more dramatic with the characters that they're writing for.
Right.
So I feel like when I'm watching it, I feel like I'm watching this really dope story about these people finding their powers and finding their worth, and then all of a sudden we get, oh, there's the dick joke because it is The Boys. It doesn't feel placed. It's not as smooth. Because The Boys is more over the top from the beginning. This one's not over the top from the beginning. It's kind of dark. Spoiler free.
Right. Well, let's spoil this thing.
Let's spoil this thing. So, like I said, like from the first freaking scene, we're in this thing now. For those of you who don't watch The Boys, do watch The Boys. And if you have watched The Boys, remember at the end of The Boys, we found out that these kids who thought they were special from God. Geek Fusion says, good show, looking forward to more, but not as good as The Boys. That being said, a lot of the cool powers and the main chick is hot. And looking forward to it. Well, there it is. So, like, they found out that they're not gifts from God. They're not special. Their parents are crazy and had their babies injected with the chemical they don't really know what's going to do. So you're dealing with that first generation, like the synopsis said. And we see this black girl with her family, man. And her parents, you can tell that they're fanatics. And like everything about The Boys made sense for me in this first scene. Why every person with powers are freaking arrogant, they're jerks, is because their parents are crazy. So of course when the kids got the powers and grew up to be heroes, they're all messed up and twisted because what kind of power has their parent has their baby injected with some chemical?
Well, also the way social media plays such a huge factor in being a hero in the first place is an interesting
But
touch.
even the older heroes, Queen Maeve and them didn't have social media. But you had crazy ass parents injecting their babies with freaking chemicals they don't know what's going to do to them.
But they also all had the PR people. And no,
Right.
you're wrong. But they're all in movies.
Before that, I'm talking about
Yeah.
you're talking about parents who are so psychotic to inject their babies with chemicals. Those people are going to grow up to be psychopaths, regardless. That's why everyone with powers are crazy, whether they're popular or not, because your parents did this to you for fame. And you see her parents watching the TV saying, baby, that's going to be you one day. She doesn't have powers yet. You see how like fanatical these people are that did this to their kids. She goes to the bathroom, has her period, finds out she can control and manipulate blood. Yo,
Bro.
that is crazy. And then kills
They
her
went-
mother
they went
with
on
it.
It's crazier
The
than
last Airbender on that one.
Wow.
Wow,
the
Rich.
last bloodbender. So what was crazy about the way they depicted that moment though is the mom spider senses were going off and she knew exactly what her daughter was going through. And so when the daughter walks up to the bathroom not knowing what's going on to discover what's going on, the mom outside the door is like, "Hey, you okay?" And the kid's like, "Leave me alone." And the mom smiles because she knows exactly what's going on, and there was like such a loving moment, soft loving moment for the mom right before the kid starts freaking out. The mom opens the door scared,
And that blood is like a dart goes through her
I just
freaking
killed it,
artery. And this is what The Boys does really well. They'll give you a scene that we've seen before, this touching scene of this little girl on her period and her mother knows what's happening. Like we've seen this archetype before. Then they flip it on his freaking head.
You're like, oh, and that's where it feels good to be in The Boys content. You're like,
yes,
guys, that's a really bad side effect of having this power.
yes, and very different. The Boys to me is a satire on the Justice League, a satire on the superhero idea. This series is more like adolescence and it's X-Men, it's adolescence, it's puberty, it's who am I? It's not so it doesn't need to be as comedic. And it didn't in the first 20 minutes, it wasn't funny at all. And that's where I liked it the best. Like, and the dad comes in, what's going on? And then she turns the blood into like almost like a mine. And it just
the mom, because the mom is
mom's blood.
Out. So she freaks out. She blows her mom up. She blows her mom up.
And like shards of the blood go in her father.
Yeah.
And he's dead. And little sister
And then
comes.
the sister walks in.
Yes, Rich.
Mm.
So already where The Boys, I forgot the first scene of The Boys, but I'm sure you know it's Butcher, it's these guys, they're over the top, it's funny, it's crass. You can't believe you're watching this. This show starts off and you feel every ounce of the tragedy.
Yeah.
You're not laughing at all in the first 20 minutes of this show.
Yeah, it's different.
And I like that.
And then we move to college.
Well, she's in foster care.
That's true.
Right.
Which is
foster care for soup kids. Yeah.
And no one wants to adopt her because of what she's done. And then yes, she gets accepted to go to Gen V, so it's superhero school.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to be in the crime fighting program.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out she can't be. So already it feels like The Boys, but it doesn't feel like The Boys. It's taking itself way more seriously, and I actually like it that way. When we start getting into the other characters being more over the top, doesn't blend as well for me. The blend isn't there.
Well, it's oddly over the top because it's not like it's like when it starts. All right, let's talk about the giant dick in the room. So when they get to that scene, it's like they got a character who can get really small, right? And the side effect for her is she literally has to inflict herself to vomit, purge. She has to purge in order to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And the more she throws up, the smaller she gets. And so she's hooks up with this random college kid, and the kid's into some kinks, and he's like, "Hey man, this is explicit, so we'll try to say it in a nice way."
It's not the first time we saw a giant a penis on an episode of The Boys, though, which is strange enough.
But in the other scene, it made
we were in the inside of it.
Right. This didn't make sense because
Yes.
one, the girl wasn't really into it, so it was consensual, but it was also like it was weird why she was doing it. It wasn't for her sake at all, and
Right.
it was depicted in that way. And so it's this weird fetish thing where the guy wanted her to get on top of his thing, and it felt like it just felt so forced for shock factor sake, as
Yeah.
opposed to when the kid is in the opening scene, or the kid who turns into flame power and he burns all his clothes off. That felt so power related, and that might have been your thing, but this felt like you're looking for audience shock factor just for the sake of shocking your audience.
Well,
And
but
I
that
didn't need it.
I think that's what The Boys does well, because they showed us that in that season, but there's no stakes involved. Here, like, the drama's too strong for that. She's not
Right.
consensual. She thought you liked her for her. So, like, we care too much about what's going on in the story to want to be taken that way.
Like,
The
it would have
boy,
been
yeah.
would have been equally dramatic for her just to say no, and the guy has to leave, and then she's alone.
Absolutely. The Boys doesn't have this level of drama. This has more drama, so the shock factor stuff pulls us out of the story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
think about The Boys. Think about the main characters. The only one, Huey, Mother's Milk, and Starlight, are like the only straight ones. Everyone else is crazy. Frenchie, Butcher, everyone else is crazy. Here, all the main characters are regular people. These kids are regular people you can bump into on the street. There's nothing over the top about any of these kids here.
Yeah, there's Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they're not caricatures. No one feels like a caricature. Where in The Boys, there's obvious, wonderfully played archetypes. Here it's more realistic or natural. So yes, a giant penis out of nowhere in this content feels like, guys.
Why?
Where in The Boys,
But
it felt like
it wasn't a giant penis.
Right, it was an average.
no. It depends. It depends. The perception's important, Rich.
Right. It's like,
was like-
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids size.
She was like 4 inches. Okay.
And she was holding all of it.
She was holding all of it.
This is terrible.
Okay.
So, anyways, we learned about her. We learned about some other powers too. She doesn't get into the criminal program, the crime fighting program, because the TA Brink is the head of the whole campus or whatever, the school. You guys watch this already. We're recapping. So, what's her face? Jordan, right?
Yes, Jordan.
Jordan.
No, I don't want to say Jordan.
But anyway, that's the TA, also a
Where
fellow
are we?
student, number 2 in the class when it comes to rankings.
Right.
She did not let Marie in, and we learned that Jordan's powers are interesting.
Jordan Lee.
She can change to a male and female, and the power set is different between them, which is very interesting. And the actors who play Jordan very differently. Like the guy is more flighty, more innocent, less grounded, and the young lady who plays Jordan is so grounded, so focused, and it's almost as if I was like, is that a choice, or is that just
That's interesting.
their different acting styles? But I found it interesting that when Jordan's a male, he almost feels more quotation mark feminine, but when Jordan's a female, her traits feel more quotation mark masculine. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Are they in the same? It's depicted where they seem like they should be in the same clothing every time they swap,
They are.
Yeah, they are.
but they fit different.
I think it's baggier when he's the girl.
Not. Well,
It's not crazy. It's not like Incredible Hulk.
I get what he's saying. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, it definitely was a different fit.
right.
But it wasn't like sorry. So the clothes fit on her when she was a girl or whatever, and then when he turned into a boy, the clothes still fit.
Right, but not like extra snug.
Yeah,
Even though
he can still go out in it, and no one's gonna be like, "Why is his clothes so tight?"
Or why is her clothes so not?
Right.
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 Which what kind of clothes do you have? You just a regular
It was-
person. You shopping at Forever
It was
21.
it was different enough for me not to call a flag. I let it go. But I thought was interesting about that particular story, as you know, as the episodes go on, we learn that this is kind of the trans part of the story, the transgender part of the story, and we meet Jordan's parents.
True.
And it's kind of weird because it's like, but Jordan is both, like physically, like
Right.
it's a boy and a girl, like can shift back and forth, and
I didn't
not-
understand why the dad was angry. Like,
Right.
that's
It's-
really the power
that's
she got.
yeah. And
I guess it would have been he. He said,
he was born, I guess, born a
Born.
boy, but it's
right,
not like,
and then he rejected.
but it's not like Jordan has shapeshifter powers. It's in choosing to change into a girl. It's like, no, like Jordan literally is both. And we saw when Jordan fought, like as a boy, it's super strength. As a girl, she had like that almost like force field power you saw come out of her hand. So like she has access to almost different powers. I didn't get the point. I felt forced conflict there. I don't know.
Well,
Felt a little
especially
forced
felt
conflict.
it felt forced conflict with the father's behavior, unless you're just chalking it up to cultural stereotype, which is
Yeah.
still odd.
Jordan's the Wonder Twins. Exactly. Geek Fusion's killing it.
Yeah.
Jordan is the Wonder Twins. So it's not like I see.
But then it also felt like odd conflict for the school and the PR sake. It was
Now
like,
that felt okay. I can see how the school having a hard time selling this hero to middle America and not even wanting to try. They would rather have someone closer to Homelander. Not because
True.
but I had a hard time with the parents acting like it was a straight up trans issue, because it felt too different than
but
that.
it also didn't make sense, especially when you consider how the kid even got the powers in the first place. It's a side effect of the powers you injected your kid with.
Right.
So
what
are you angry about?
Because they wanted normal powers.
Right, but then the story. Oh, that's okay.
Wow.
But then the
you did it.
story. Yeah, right. The story that the father was. Why was the father literally telling the agent guy a story about his son playing with the neighbor girl, and then the son was like, I was the neighbor girl. It was always me. It was me and me," which didn't make any sense.
No, you said no. Me and that girl then tried on prom dresses together. There was a neighbor girl. Where the father went with it is, this is the girl he's gonna marry, and Jordan was like, "Yeah, I might marry her, but as a female, because we both tried on dresses together." The father was like neglecting half of the story,
Right.
and I can understand that level of ignorance in just our regular world. But when you add her powers into it, his powers into it, it just muddies. I just don't understand. I see this the social comment they're trying to make on it, but the powers kind of make it a little weird for the social commentary.
Yeah, it's not like the person or the
It was-
content of the person or the personality has shifted in any way, really. Once he changes form,
Nah, it was just forced. That whole part felt
It's
Yeah, a little bit.
forced.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this though, I really liked the character as a power set. I thought it was very interesting.
And I actually wanted more of a distinction between the powers of the different forms, because Jordan had, like, when she was a girl fighting Luke, we'll get there. She had like that kind of force field power, but they both kind of had super strength. But I think when she was a male, she had more strength.
I think they all kind of have super
They
strength.
all seem to have super
Yeah,
strength
for the most part.
So
They have the super strength and then like tough skin.
So then I was trying to figure out why did Jordan feel the need to switch from male to female in the middle of a fight? So I would like for each one to have more, just a distinction.
Well, I missed the force field thing when he
it was really tight.
When he switched into the girl.
It was really tight. It's like whenever she would like hit him, you would see like a little thing, and it would send him flying. But when she was the guy, he would just punch him. It was very subtle. And I was like, well, why switch back and forth? It doesn't seem like your powers change enough.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Actually, I was like, is she more agile than? And this guy's more. I was a little confused on that one
They
too.
could have had way more fun with that.
They
Could
could
have
have.
way
Yeah,
more fun with that.
especially in her female form, she had the force field power. Like they definitely could have messed with that a little bit more.
Yeah. Or I was hoping that she is invincible in the female form, but he has the super strength, so he can't
Or
hit you.
still, I mean, that's really awesome. Now
That
you
would have
just
been dope. We should
Yeah.
write for this stuff
Yeah.
because, like, you on
Well, now
offense, you
you
got to
make
be the
it make-
dude, but then you got to
make
switch
it
it
make
up.
sense. Why? Why are you doing this? Why the two forms and how are they? And maybe there are but we watched 3 episodes. They didn't seem that distinct, other than the fact that it's a.
Well, you only saw her fight in one.
But you saw her shifting back and forth a bunch.
Because she's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't see her like
But you have
anything
one
like
huge.
superpower.
But you have one huge fight with the main athlete on campus. That's the only scene you need to exploit the character. It's right there. You're gonna
Yeah.
show us. That's where you show us.
They missed it. Geek Fusion says the social conflict in the show felt forced for the sake of making a point instead of just writing more coherent story that made sense in the perspective. Yeah, and
That part.
but it's a fine line because The Boys has social commentary. The Boys make fun of the right so hard, they make fun of the left so hard too. And when you make fun of them, the only way it works is it's got to be funny. If it's funny, we'll let it slide. The second is not funny is where it starts to sound like preaching. It's got to be funny. And this content,
Or simple. Keep it simple and earnest. Don't spoon feed it.
yeah, it's a tough
It was
line.
kind of like some of the issues I had with like the Falcon Winter Soldier content is it just felt so fed to us.
Yeah, The Boys does it in a way it doesn't feel forced because Homelander is so over the top that when he says something crazy like Donald Trump, not saying it's like you can, it's funny to hear it out of his mouth. But if it was taking itself seriously, we'd be like, I don't need to watch the news. I want to watch this show. Anyways, so
Anyway,
I stop it, Jack.
I can't help it. You're the one who made us watch that content.
I don't even remember what it is.
Harley Quinn.
Oh wow, yeah, I still watch it. It's good. So episode 1, we learn the school, we learn the rankings. We see Luke's power, who he's like the Human Torch, but also
Really
super
strong.
super fast.
And then like his head didn't light on fire.
I felt like he probably can control that. I felt like he purposely let his face be seen because why not?
And then then at the end of episode 1, I thought Homegirl blew him up.
No,
That's what I thought. I'm like, yo, that's pretty
he
dope.
self-deleted.
He
That's
blew
messed
himself up.
Listen, she has so much, but she needs to go watch the Last Airbender because she has so much potential with these powers.
She needs to go watch the last. No,
She needs to go. See, you never watched the Last Airbender. That's
no,
why you never saw the blood.
I believe you. I feel
Yeah.
like she wants to learn how to use them well, and she seems like she has pretty good control of them. So let's keep. So before that
That's a
fight,
weird power though. So she cuts her hands so she can bleed herself out while using her
With
power.
that being said,
But then
yes,
she's like,
she should have more scars on her hand and body alone because she cuts herself.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that.
yeah.
I was
But
like,
so
yeah,
that goes back to the social
She probably
commentary.
would. She probably would wear gloves too, like I or long sleeves because she doesn't want to reveal
Yeah.
every time
You
she
ever
has to
cut
cut
yourself
herself.
with a knife?
No,
And she's doing
I
deep
don't know. I
cuts,
try
man.
not
That
to,
takes
no.
some time to heal up.
unless
Unless she's got super healing.
she
Oh,
probably got
I
healing.
got this scar. I fell on a 40 bottle. You see that scar right there?
That's
I
what-
think I
what I'm
remember
talking
that. I think I remember
A
that.
little-
But I think she.
No,
she
you weren't there.
but I think I remember you being cut.
Oh yeah, I walked home with blood in my hand and freaked my mom out. It was great. I was like, Mom, I think I need to go to the hospital.
Geek Fusions is still playing the debate game. Human Torch powers, but you're not fire resistant.
Wow.
He won. So basically, before all that, Marie agrees to go out to the club with some friends. They're like the top people in the school. They have to go there. She has to go. Her roommate says you have to go. You're gonna get in with the in crowd. They go to this club. Freaking Black Magneto, dude Black
Black
Magneto.
Magneto,
He can
yes.
control metal, and he decides to take like I forget what it was, a fork or something to press a girl. Actually,
It was a
but
coin.
he can do more than Magneto. He actually changed the molecular structure of the coin and turned it into
Right.
like a little bird, and then got bumped, and he wound up again another neck wound right in the neck of this girl or this woman across the bar. She's bleeding out. They got to get out of there. These are top ranking kids. But one is like Luke is about to go join the freaking the seven,
11.
the
No, the
seven,
seven.
and we get to see Marie use her powers in a dope way. She takes the blood, puts it back in the body, and then like
Just highly unsanitary.
coagulates it so it's like it doesn't bleed out anymore. It's her, but it's her blood. She controlled her blood. So
She controlled her blood. She controlled the girl's
she
blood.
controlled the girl's blood, so she can control blood.
Yeah.
Period.
Right. But still, that was super.
What you gonna do, Rich?
Bro, have you ever seen the floor of a club or a bar? It's
I
disgusting.
thought she caught that.
She caught it in the air.
Yeah, she caught it in
She
the air,
didn't, like-
threw it back
she
in
didn't
there.
put the blood from the
Scoop all
floor.
She didn't scoop all the blood back in there.
Man,
She caught the blood in the air and she
She-
stopped her from bleeding out.
Yeah, well,
she was already bleeding out. She was gone. She was just about
But she
gone.
lived. And then Marie goes back to the school to find out we want you to take the fall for this. Because that's what superheroes do.
that scene was crazy.
Oh, and so
Yeah.
well acted. The dude that plays the teacher, because he did it all feeling like that wonderful grandpa. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
He's like, come
Mm.
on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then she goes back to give him a piece of her mind, and Luke's in there burning him alive.
No, hold on. Let's go back. Because they were talking about how her powers was just not marketable. I'm like, yo, her powers are like probably some of the dopest ones there. She can do so much outside of just being a superhero. She could be a doctor, a nurse. She could help
These people aren't thinking about helping people. They're thinking about numbers. They're thinking about polling. They're thinking about marketing. Adidas don't want the blood girl.
Wild.
But I think that's the point. Is like her powers actually can be used for good, but you don't know how to market it, so you're not even going to invest in her.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do? Sling your own spit at people all day? And you know, you only have so much of it in your body.
At least they're not flying around farting their pants out, bro.
Hey, so I won that round.
Oh, Geek Fusion, you know that's gonna happen. He's saying he's just waiting for this scene where she blows someone up by shooting all their blood out of their body. You know that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought happened at the first episode.
He self-deleted.
That's what I thought that happened. I'm just like,
it could happen.
It
but
will
does
happen.
It need to be, but it does it need to be visible? Like, do they need to be
No,
showing some of it first?
I feel like she can do it.
Red rum, indeed.
I think she can do it. I think she cuts herself, so she has an easy access point to her blood. But if she really wanted to, she can pull that out your pores, man.
Like control people, like just freeze them, just stop them.
Yo,
like they're running at you.
The extent
Stop
of her powers is crazy,
bro. Yo, I'm telling you, Last Airbender, y'all need to watch that. That
Avatar?
episode with the blood bending
cartoon?
Avatar. Yes, the Last Airbender. There was blood bending in that. When the moon is full, right? Yeah, the moon is full. I think it was like a red moon, whatever. They can control water to the point where they can control the blood because your water's in your blood.
Yes.
Yeah, boy. Listen, man, y'all need to get
Yo. All right, I'm with you. In Geek Fusion, you're right. She can totally control the blood inside. I mean, she has to. If she can't control the blood inside someone else's body, then this is a whole missed opportunity. Like, what's even the point of this power? So Luke is in there killing Brick the teacher. She sees him, and Luke is like, "I'm sorry." This whole time, Luke has been getting visions of the woods, because he knows what's going on.
Right, but okay, hang on though. Pause. Fast forward, spoiling the next 2 episodes.
Please, we got to get through this. I got to get out of here.
All right, you're right. Okay, so we'll fast track this. But the whole thing became so unplausible the second we discovered why Luke was having a meltdown in the first place was because, okay, spoiler alert, here's all the stuff on the table, cards at once. His brother's in some sort of secret facility. He thought his brother was dead, but he's not. And so he's getting visions from the secret facility that his brother's alive. So he goes and confronts the person who he thinks is responsible for it, kills him, and then self-terminates himself, self-deletes himself, whatever the term is, deletes himself at the end of that episode. And you're sitting here going, wait, but how does that help you free your brother?
It's because he lost himself. First, he found out about his brother 3 years ago. So that was 3 years in the past. So he's been living this life on the school, being big man on campus, knowing where his brother is and almost allowing it. So he's living with that guilt anyway. And then after he kills the Brick, he chose after Marie. Like, he has a whole fight in the school, tries to kill Jordan. He's lost his mind. He's not working with a full deck right here. So his self-deletion is like, I think it's not plausible because he's beyond plausibility. He's lost it. The guilt, the shame. He went crazy. And I'm not saying that we couldn't have more layers to justify it, but
I just didn't understand how. Yeah, I almost needed it at that point because there wasn't enough context in that scene alone for me to understand why he. Especially when the content played out for the next few episodes, you're sitting here going, "Wait, but then you just left your brother."
Geek Fusion just said that's why he left the video for his best friend. I don't
know, but that video just made it even less plausible that he would have removed himself from the equation.
I don't think he killed Brick to save his brother. I think he killed him for revenge. Like, let's look at it like he didn't actually, like, I'm not saving my brother by doing this.
But he went mad because he came to the conclusion that his brother's still alive. And so instead, and he wanted to, and he tells his friends, "Go free my brother." But you're the best chance at your brother getting freed. So why do you remove yourself from the equation? It just makes no sense, actually.
Yeah, he lost it.
I guess that's the only thing we can say.
He lost it.
Yes,
his power says too powerful to remain on the show for there to be conflict. Got to Captain Marvel him. Okay, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And we also see Andre, the Magneto dude. His father was a part of the Seven. It looks like, which is interesting.
He's not Magneto. He's elemental. He's able to change,
but only metal.
Yeah, he's magnetic.
Only metal.
Is it just polarity? He can change the polarity of stuff. Was his father's thing?
His father was polarity, but he's only moving around metal or manipulating metal. Yeah. That's why he was able to find the tape by ripping open Homelander's metal junk statue, the bronze statue.
Yes. Oh no, that was his father.
Oh, that was his.
His father's statue.
And then having that cop give fellatio to the. Wait, no, that's the girlfriend. We talking about the girlfriend. The girlfriend.
Yeah, the girlfriend.
Has the dopest power. She can touch you and you do whatever you want. She had that guard fillet the end of his gun.
Yeah.
But she also bleeding through the eyes, and she's getting like massive migraines.
That's what I'm thinking. Geek Fusion says he lost his mind and felt guilty for becoming a superstar while his brother was locked up. Yeah, like.
But he thought his brother was dead. He thought his brother was dead.
No, that was 3 years ago.
Thought his brother was dead because she made him believe his brother.
No, she refused to use the power on him. He thought his brother was dead. He asked her, "Hey, I don't want to feel this anymore."
Oh yeah, she did.
She says, "I'm sorry, you got to work through this," which actually was a great scene. She hugged him. So she did not erase his memory. He thought his brother was dead for the last few years, and he's just living his best life he can.
See you, Brent.
See you, man. Thanks for joining. He comes to the conclusion that his brother is actually alive, has somehow been sending him signals saying, "Hey, man, come help me." And then he freaks out, kills what's-his-face, and then
he lost his mind.
Well, I guess that's it. But yes, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing.
Let me tell you the last thing I'm going to do when I lose my mind. I'm going to take it out on myself.
Hey, when you lose your mind, who knows what's going to go on. But that fight scene was dope in the school. And that's what let me know he's lost it. Because now everyone's watching you in this fight scene. Like, you're not trying to get away with it anymore. And once I saw that, I was like,
the only thing that made sense on some level was the social embarrassment of the whole situation, right? It's like you're the big guy on campus, you just kill this guy, and you can't deal with it because you're in school.
But I think it's even more than embarrassment. He's not a killer. So, like, even taking that
Lawrence,
life.
I beg to differ because, and that was pretty methodical what he did. Was
right.
Not.
But he never did it before. So now.
That we know of.
the way he had tears out of his eyes after he did it, it was like, oh, you're not built for this.
Yeah.
And then so anyways, Andre's on a mission now to freaking like figure out what's below the school, because him and Marie also saw that dude get captured by some guards at the school. This is unusual. Who's he? Where is he from? Anyways, he sees the tape, bangs his best friend's girlfriend.
Yep, that happens.
It's college, man. That's all I can say about that.
I was getting a strong like they bang each other vibe, like that whole foursome or threesome.
I'm
whatever.
not trying to judge. I
Well,
don't
the
know
best
what the
friend
youth
was
is
out
doing
of the
now.
picture because he removed himself from the equation. So
No,
it was
Jack,
more like,
Jack, you can't.
you're right.
You can't bring your 40-year-old mind to this. These 20-year-olds is different. It's
Okay.
just different.
It'd be
I
different.
don't know what is. I would have said that's a flag, but to them it's like we all have sex with each other all the time. Like her roommate was down for a threesome, and it didn't matter who it was with. She was like, it's just different. The world is different. No judgment. It's just it's different. So, anyways. Yeah, he says, Geek Fusion's like, yeah, they were a throuple for sure. I felt like some happened. Yeah. Because at first they implied that Andre was gay. Then he went after the girl in the bar. So I'm like, oh, they're not defined by the rules that we've created. They're living their life in college.
Yeah, there was definitely a moment between Luke and him when they embraced right before he kind of like.
They said that when they went in Luke's room, they found a drawer full of dildos in Luke's room.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah, we can say it was for his girlfriend. I'm not gonna put them in a box. I have no idea. And it's none of my business, to tell you the truth. So, anyways. and Geek Fusion's like they were always telling each other they loved each other at the party. Yeah, they had a whole thing going on. Yeah. And then Jordan's like switching genders halfway. This is like that anime I watched, which Rich Harry watched.
Wait, which one was that?
The freaking Hell's Paradise. Freaking got changing your gender in the middle of intercourse. Yo, this school is nuts. This school, they getting it in. Ain't no one doing homework at this school. Anyways, so they're on a mission. Andre is pretty much tells the roommate Emma, I think her name is, who can get small, like, look, this is what's going on. I need you to get down there, see what's down there. She's going through a whole thing because a girl who she thought like was her friend put her on blast on how she uses her powers. And this is the same thing with the Jordan thing for me, where like they're forcing social commentary. It's like she doesn't have. You can't actually say the words on YouTube or we get like flagged. She doesn't have an ED, and I'm not talking about erectile dysfunction. She doesn't have
You're not
an
allowed
ED.
to say that. What about the B word?
Probably not.
What's the B word? What's the B word?
We'll talk about it later. Not the B word you're thinking about.
Okay.
You just get flagged. And I watched a video where he wasn't allowed to say it. So she has a eating issue, but she doesn't. Like, that's how she uses her powers. She's not like eating and then like looks in the mirror and I hate the way I look. I can't believe I ate that. Like, no, that's how she uses her powers. So I felt like the commentary on that was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But she does it to use her powers. Not like she wouldn't do it if she wasn't trying to get small. Right?
Can you make the gesture?
Yeah.
No, wow, you can do it. It can look like something else, though. Go ahead, Jack. Create a meme.
That's great.
Go ahead, Jack.
Thanks,
Put that thing in your mouth. Create a meme.
Two-finger diet is the B word.
Jeffrey just got here. Yeah, B word. You just caught it. Is Gen V good? Spoiler free, real quick. I like it. It's not as good as The Boys, but it's also different than The Boys. I like it. Rich likes it. He gave that face, and Jack like it. Yes, Geek Fuse. She clearly doesn't have ED. She doesn't want to do it.
Right.
It's just her way to use her power.
But that is true right up until the point they introduce her mom into the content, and then her mom pushes that narrative though.
Because her mom knows it's good for TV, right?
No. Meaning you can tell that the mom was an oppressive mom in the growing up dynamic and probably did. And also, didn't Starlight deal with some of that in the content?
Starlight dealt with that, but she actually dealt with real ED. Emma's like, I do this to use my powers. I don't have an issue.
Exactly. Well, you're right, and but I'll say this though, that also means the only way she ever discovered her powers in the first place is,
or she threw up by accident one time and shrunk. She's a kid.
Had never occurred to me that that might
and her crazy mom is like, do that again. I don't have to throw up. This is how you do it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So who knows?
Because she says,
right.
She says to the reporter, "Guess who taught me how?"
Right.
Which means she wasn't doing it on her own. So
but that's my point. The mom changes the narrative because guess who taught me how implies that maybe the mom had something else going on and was concerned with her visual aesthetic as just a human and was telling her daughter to go behind the dumpster and give the food back.
Right. But we never see the I don't want to say it's the thing we see in films all the time where somebody eats a bunch of food and has to get purged. We only see her do that to use her power.
Exactly.
For no other reason.
Right. But the line that was pretty interesting was when she talked about losing the enamel on the back of her teeth. I was like, that's an interesting detail touch. It just tells you kind of the reality of the situation for her, you know?
How off and the fact that her mom was like, "Did you eat enough? You look a foot short." So it's almost like which made me think, what happens if you eat too much?
Right.
Because
can she grow?
You need to track your calories or something.
Right.
Like that.
Which actually, that line would have been more interesting for the mom to have it reversed. If I'm being honest, have you eat too much? You look foot tall. Is more interesting.
I liked her saying
the whole thing is because the whole disorder is about overindulgence in eating, right? Or feeling that that's what you're going through.
But I also think they gave us a hint about her powers. She can get rid of food to get small, but maybe she can also grow to the size of a skyscraper if she eats too much.
Well,
she can literally control her size,
right? So like an Ant-Man situation,
yeah. Because her mom was like, "You look a foot short," which means whatever you stop eating at is where you stay. It's not like you naturally go back to your normal size. You have to eat to get to whatever your size is. You create your base.
Well, you really got to watch your calorie intake.
Yo, but like, what if she, like, there's a big fight and she's just like, and then she comes out like, ah.
I would love. I hope
that'd be dope.
I hope they take it that far
at all.
Yeah,
she doesn't grow. And what does she lose weight other ways too?
Probably normally.
You know, like when we say, hey, you know, we go to the bathroom, we lost 5 pounds. Does she actually lose 5 pounds and maybe 5 inches?
I think she has to. I think it has to be undigested food.
Yeah, I got the sense. Exactly. I got the sense that her body otherwise worked pretty normal.
Now, if it was a Jack side effect, that would definitely be it. Jack, like, every time you poop, you get small. So she's down there. She's going, and that's the thing. Like, the boys, Starlight and Huey were the characters that carried the weight of the drama, and every now and then we get into Butcher. Here, all the characters carry the drama, so the tone is a different tone. And she goes down there, and we meet the brother. He's an awesome actor, man. I believed everything this kid did down there.
No, I like that scene too. When
touching.
When the the shrunk person showed up in his food dish, and he's like, "I must be hallucinating," and you're like, "That's exactly the kind of response you wanted."
Yeah.
And then he goes through this series of ridiculous questions, like, "What's my favorite color?" kind of question.
He's like, "What's my favorite movie?" She's like, "Well, you're white, so Godfather Part 2, Star Wars, or something else." He's like, "It's Waterworld."
Waterworld.
But her point was, how would I know any of these questions? And he's like, "That's a really good point. You must be real."
And it only worked because it was so sweet. And that's an element. That's what I love about this show. That's what this show delivers that the boys can't, because the subject matter is completely different. So it's like, lean into this stuff more and leave the big dick jokes to the boys.
Yeah. It's the fraternity stuff, the fraternity type humor in a college setting that just feels like low hanging fruit for this content specifically.
It's too deep. It's just too deep.
Exactly. That's my point, though. It's
Yeah.
like it's not necessary. I don't need the shock factor. You
Yeah.
don't have to put someone up someone's thing in order for me to go, well, that's shocking.
Also,
Rich is done.
I will say, I know every actor on this show is probably in their 20s, but it's also different when you're watching, like, these are children or supposed to be children.
Right,
It's
they're like
different when
18,
you-
19.
It's different when it's Homelander jerking off the side of a building because that's a grown man. It's different when it's supposed to be a 16-year-old.
Well, I mean, they're
that's
in-
not it's not as a fun a watch when you're watching children.
Well, college isn't necessarily
Yeah,
just
college,
16.
college is 18, 19, 20. Like,
You're
and-
right.
and
but-
higher.
20. In our case, Lawrence, we had some 32-year-olds in
Yeah,
our
it's a
college,
special program.
So it's like,
But my point is the visual aesthetic, when you see someone on screen that can look like they're 16 going through something crass.
some of the people on this show look like they're like,
Jack,
No.
follow my point. Just follow
Oh,
this
I'm
point.
sorry. Go ahead. Let
The
me hear.
thread is it's easier to watch adults do things that are silly and bombastic than people who could look like children to a degree. Unless you're going far out there on American Pie tip. But the second you make me care for this character because she might be abused and there's no consent, it's hard for me to accept a dick joke here.
Yes, right. And that is the content that I feel doesn't necessarily work in this setting.
No, they don't need it.
Yeah, so I think we're on the same page there. Well, except for maybe Rich. Maybe Rich likes it.
No, let's not get into that. Let's not get canceled.
I'm just saying, at 18, 19, they're considered legal adults. They're not 16-year-olds.
You're
Like, what are
right.
you talking about?
You're right.
She was 16 when she got her period.
You're right. No, she was 13. She said she got her powers at 13.
Whatever, 13.
13.
She was still at that age. And then, for that was like that innocent but also dark moment. So you
Right.
didn't see all that at that age. But, you get them in college, like they're doing cocaine. They're
You're
doing
right.
cocaine.
I'm just saying it's easier to watch 40-year-olds do stuff
Cocaine
that are
is
crazy.
a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine's a
You
hell
probably
of a
can't
drug.
even say cocaine on here. Anyways,
That
And you
booger
not?
sugar?
What about the bear?
I don't know.
That booger sugar? All right.
That booger sugar babe. So basically, Emma, like I think her name's Emma. Emma they know someone's down there. They electrocute the floor. He's like, get out of here. When the floor's not electrocuted, the brother says that, get out of here, because they know he's talking to someone, and it doesn't sound like it's probably in his head. And then Andre's upstairs like, holy crap, I might have got this girl killed. At that point in time, Marie is finding out like, yo, she's just a poster girl now for this school to save their butts. They don't actually care about her. She actually earnestly wants to be a superhero for real, which I feel like probably most of these kids did at one point.
She's making all the wrong choices. I enjoy listen, I appreciate the scene where she says, I don't know any of you anything.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right. But we don't necessarily see her making the good moral decision either.
It's great, man, because it feels like, well, if you just told everyone that I saved that woman in the bar, I'd probably rank number one anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. So I'm going to take this win over here because I should have got this win over there. And all your top 4 ranked students would be like kicked out of school if you knew the truth. Like she would actually probably be in the place she would be.
True.
They just told the truth about what happened in the bar.
Right.
So it's kind of, yeah. And then and the girls have a heart-to-heart moment. Yo, the girl that can like touch people and make suggestions was like, I found out my powers when my brother touched me, and I said, don't touch me, like go away and never come back.
Yeah.
He went away and we never could find him. Like, that is scary. This show is scary.
Yeah.
That's where the show lands, though.
Yes.
That's where the content is interesting in a good way. And it's why I feel like I really don't need some of that other stuff crammed into this content.
Literally.
Right.
Crammed in.
Yeah.
So Andre alerts them like, holy crap, she might be in trouble. The guard comes in and she goes in his ear. And I was thinking about that.
I was thinking about how that even works, though.
Like, bye, Rich.
Bye,
For
Rich.
internet connection. Like, how did she's in the dark, holding her breath, climbing
that's what
her
I'm
way
saying,
through
like-
sludge.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like
It's like,
it did just the mechanics of it didn't make any sense to me.
yeah.
Because you're not breathing the content you're immersed in at that point. It's not like there's pockets of air. You're probably,
No.
and she comes up covered in blood. So you're like, crawled through ear canal, brain cavity, out the other side, and it wasn't quick. It was like,
It'd be like swimming through a tube of spaghetti and trying to get to the other side.
and how do you even know you're going the right direction at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just
I
keep
guess.
Swimming.
But
I
you
guess.
can't.
I mean,
Finding Nemo? Yeah. Okay. All right.
By Rich.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep. I don't know. I don't know. I saw Finding Dory though. But what's cool is like she comes out the other side drenched in blood, and everyone's power is fatal if they want it to be.
Yeah.
And much like everyone else, usually they're all bulletproof when they use their powers. And
To a
can
degree, because
withstand.
when the brother had that spinal tap, they were able to penetrate.
right?
What's his power? He's super strong, but that's it.
I don't know.
Like,
I think we're gonna find out because there was some
Threw
previews.
the guy out his
Yeah.
mouth.
But there was a preview where it was like a whole puppet thing.
Or he hallucinates. Now we know he
Maybe.
hallucinates.
Or
'cause
maybe he can
was-
change reality.
Yo.
Or maybe we're just seeing from his perspective. He thinks it's a puppet, so he felt like he ripped a puppet. But
He can't
actually-
trust what he sees, and he starts
Right.
destroying.
which is probably why he thought he was like, "Was this girl real? Are you real?"
Because
Did I miss that element?
Well, that it was like in a preview.
in the previews,
Yeah.
you see like a
Not in
puppet, not in the content, but he says to his brother, like, they messed up my head.
Right.
Yes.
And then he
Yeah.
asks, so like,
But he says that when they first see him.
yeah. So I wonder if there's more than super strength or where his strength derives from.
The little brother's dilemma was he didn't want the powers at all. He just wanted to be normal. And so he's just kind of raging against.
Well, no, he didn't. He doesn't want to be normal. The powers like made him insane. Like
Right,
it makes
that's
him like if he just has super strength and can think clearly.
But the brother said you were never fully there to start out with. The older brother says
The
that.
powers ain't do it. But then who knows?
Right.
Because they got the powers in their infancy, so we don't know. We don't know.
And that's kind of the end of episode 3.
That's end episode 3. Are you guys coming back? Are you guys coming back?
I'm coming back.
Y'all
Yeah,
love
I'm
it.
coming back, but
I
I'm
like
not coming
this.
back before I finish Ahsoka.
I probably will.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back. I want to see the puppet get ripped. I want to see how that works.
What I love about Gen V or The Boys, I know The Boys is a comic book, but what I love about this content is it's free to do whatever.
Yeah.
Star Wars is still got to end a certain way. It's still, it's still Disney. It's still like DC. Superman still has to end a certain way. When we start getting into The Boys, it can go either. That's why we love Invincible, because it feels like it can go any way they want it to. So I'm digging this.
But we
I'm
know where
digging
the
this.
graphic novel goes.
Right.
We know where the comics of Invincible is going.
Well, no, I'm talking about my experience reading Invincible. I read the books, Jack.
Yeah.
I read the books.
Sorry,
And they're able to do whatever they want.
and it's great.
So Ahsoka, I like it, but it's like I know that you're probably gonna win in the end. You're probably gonna be fine.
Well, it's Star Wars. The hero always wins in the end.
That's my point. Gen V, for all we know, this is a super villain origin story. Marie,
Right, 'cause there's no graphic novel for this. This is all original stuff. So.
even the boys' graphic novel is very different than the show.
That's
is
true.
it? Okay.
So we don't know what's gonna. You can't predict.
Oh,
it.
that's right. The Boys is different. I did see the because what's the name? Noir is actually okay. Not to spoil anything for anyone if you
Yeah.
haven't read the comics.
Noir is not a black guy under there.
Yeah. And that was funny because they were saying for Maria it's like not Maria A Train, no, not A Train, Polarity. He was the first black superhero on the 7. But technically Noir was, but no one actually seen Noir's face except for Soldier Boy and them.
Because Polarity has got to be 50 at the most.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been in that flashback. He still would have been too young for that flashback.
A-Train was the first. Wasn't the whole scene with the dad watching A-Train get inducted?
No, A-Train was the first black student from Gen V to go to the 7.
Okay.
And that's why he's like, you're going to go to that school and be like A-Train. But I think Polarity is the first black person, but Noir actually is.
Right.
That's very interesting. I need the boys to come back. This is good filler for the boys. Anyways, Mother's Milk is. Doesn't he actually have to drink like breast milk or something in the comic Geek Fusion? No, there
Does
is
he?
something. No,
No, I
yes.
think his mother worked in worked in the factory that made the stuff, the V stuff, and it got in her bloodstream, and then he got strong because she was breastfeeding him. I could be wrong, but I
I
feel like
think
that's what I heard.
it's
Something to that
something. Yeah,
nature.
it's not just a
I mean,
nickname.
that sounds very comic book.
It's not just a
accurate.
nickname, Jack.
It'd be a weird nickname. He drinks this on.
Oh, I gotta read the boys. Well, that's pretty much the show. I think we're all coming back. Jack is gonna finish Ahsoka first, as he should, as I should, as we all should, because that's good content. We got good content, man. But that's the show. At this point, this is where Chris would give recommendations. So I guess I'll wing it. Time for recommendations.
Recommendations.
Yo, if you like Gen V or any type of like heroes in training type situation, here are some things you might want to watch. First up is Young Justice. Teen superheroes coming together, sidekicks, learning how to work together, learning how to be a team. It's good content, especially the first 2 seasons. Great freaking content. What else is there? I'm winging it.
How about adult themed superhero content?
Adult themed superhero content.
Kick ass.
Kick Ass, Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Jack doesn't care for it too much, but I love it. The Watchmen. If you looking for adult themed superhero content, Watchmen.
And he ain't talking about the HBO series. He's talking about the Zack Snyder cinematic visual masterpiece, The Watchmen.
Probably the most well adapted comic to film.
And the
thing.
opening credits scene. If you ain't seen a Watchmen, which I find it hard to believe,
I'll throw the HBO series on that too. Adult themed. That's great.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some adult themed, and then you also got young kids learning, and Rich, that show real quick.
Sure.
That British show that you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
Misfits.
I don't know about that one, Geek Fusion. I don't know about that one.
No, Jack, it actually is. Watchmen is dope.
It is.
There's one scene you don't like, but in that 2-hour movie,
that scene is so drastically misunderstood that it almost destroys the entire content.
It does not destroy the entire. For you, it does. But Watchmen is arguably the best adapted comic book to live screen thing that's ever been done.
Well, 300's also pretty visually phenomenal.
I'm talking about adapted.
Everything Zack Snyder touches is visually.
No, Watchmen's dope, and actually, he fixed the comic. A giant squid coming out of nowhere doesn't make sense. Dr. Manhattan getting framed makes way more sense. So even story-wise,
that's fine.
He killed it.
I didn't have any problem with that. The ending, but he completely misunderstood Rorschach's break.
Yeah, it isn't perfect. Jack will throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, Rich.
I start over.
Chronicle.
I just start.
Chronicle. Now we're just
Chronicle's great.
Chronicle. Young people with powers learning how they work. Yes.
How did Chronicle not get a sequel?
Because the writer went. They tried.
Oh, is that what happened?
Josh Trank, I think. I could be wrong about this. I think he burned some bridges in trying to create a sequel. Then the director of Chronicle went to go make that Fantastic Four movie and talk so much trash about that movie in the studio. Like, all the parts fell apart after it. Before the movie came out, he was talking about how, like, this is whack and here are the reasons why. Before the movie came out. And he wasn't wrong. It was whack. And I'm sure...
the ending was pretty... The ending needed the third act needed an overhaul.
I didn't watch it. I haven't seen Fan 4 Stick.
I'm talking about Chronicle.
No, I'm talking about Fan 4 Stick. The director of Chronicle directed that, and that's where he burned his bridges.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that Hulu show is extraordinary.
I thought you were talking about Misfits.
No, what is Misfits?
That's what you were talking about. Misfits is a group of young offenders doing community service get struck by lightning during a storm and start developing superpowers.
No, I didn't see that.
Before
Lawrence
we
be making his
started,
own stuff up, bro. Anyway,
before
what?
we started,
What did he say?
Lawrence was like, "Hey, I only have an hour to do this, so we
All right,
gotta
I'm
get in
getting-
and get out."
Oh, my
God.
bad, my fault. I'm sorry.
No,
Let's
it's
go.
me.
That's on you. I'm looking at
No,
Wrath of Tomorrow,
no,
Mark.
it's really Geek Fusion. The fact, Geek Fusion came to play, and it's like I had so much fun talking to him. Brent too, Jeffrey. I feel like you come to say hello and then you out because you never watch the stuff we're talking about. But please, I love
Sage
you
jumped
being
in
here.
was great today
Sage
too.
jumped in. It's been a great show. Yeah, I got to do some work. We out. Always a great time. You can catch us here.
He's gone. He's out.
I'm out. You can catch us here every Sunday at 4 o'clock, whether it's the four of us, two of us, or one of us. You'll see some version of us here at 4 o'clock every Sunday going live. Or you can catch it after the live stream, which you probably are. And if so, the description, don't forget, if you want to go back, you can. And there's time codes if you want to go back and hear our wonderful debate and hear Jack lose. I love when Jack
I
loses
won
because
this
it's like
debate so hardcore. It's ridiculous. Come on. And we're out.
best combo, real quick, Geek Fusion TV. I got to read with you. Best combo movies: Watchmen, The Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Deadpool. He doesn't know how you feel about Zack Snyder. Man of Steel. I don't got enough time for this Man of Steel debate because Jack is not a fan. Geek Fusion. We will see you next time. And I'm definitely gonna check out your content. Geek Fusion TV. You must have some content. Definitely gonna check you out. Anyways, we'll be back. Same bat time.
Same bat channel.
Peace.
Get out of here.